Please, Popola and Devila, please don't send me to the boat again. Please, anything but the wrecked ship mission. I mean, I loved it at first. It's such a beautiful little story, and especially when you get into ending B. I hope I'm not spoiling too much. Nier Replicant, the wrecked ship. Anyway, spoilers ahead, possibly. I love the mission. The postman, how he's taking care of her, how he doesn't try to pressure her either way. Here, it's your choice. You go ahead. I'll give you food. I'll give you this. Give you some stuff for being nice to you. I'll sing you a song. And then she sings it badly, and it's really cute and such a charming and beautiful little story. Obviously, that's where Yoko Taro is like reaching in, grabbing Do's heart, just putting it in, just so that it, eventually he can go as he does. And it's heartbreaking, and I didn't even know that it had, spoilers again, 2 separate endings. I don't research games too much before I play them. I try to be as fresh as I can. I don't know all the ins and outs of these games when I'm playing them. I try to just play them as if I've never known anything about them. So I didn't know. The first 2 times, I guess I just timed out before I attacked her, and she just ended up destroying the ship, I think, and then that's when the postman is angry. He's like, you'll never be, we can never be together, you're a monster, you're not the little girl that I once knew. But this time I actually did get her, like this last time in ending, playthrough C. I haven't ended it yet. Well, I just ended it. I'm now about starting playthrough D. And I've hit her again. I'm here again. It's a new mission. I don't quite remember what mission was here before that it replaced, to get the seafront key to the Shadow Lord's temple. But this mission, they add a little too much that makes the addition seem annoying. It's almost like they're trolling us, like, oh, you want some extra stuff? Here, have a little too much extra stuff. Have some walking around quests. Walk here, walk there, have none of it mean anything, except that you get back to the exact same place you started, and you have to go through this really long, unskippable set of cutscenes that, at first, again, they're the beautiful parts of the story that build behind what's going on, and with the postman's mind and how she's warming up and trying to be human for him and trying to be a kind little girl for him, but she needs to eat people with red bags and such, so she can't be a proper little girl. She's always going to be a shade, and so it's a beautiful little story, and I don't fault that at all. What I do fault are all the unskippable cutscenes and all the stuff, extra level that we have to do that I feel like I didn't have to do before in the original Nier, and so it feels tacked on plus extra long for length's sake. To contrast it, the mission with Beepy and Kalil. When I am going underground again, we have to go through these missions over and over again. We're on a fourth try now, and while Beepy is crawling through the door and getting out, and he's talking, and Kalil is talking, and you can click through it. You can skip through it while they're talking, and they're moving, and by the time that he's finished standing, you click through all the text boxes, and it's gone. But with the new postman and little girl scenes, you have to wait for all the animations, all the really slow animations from the really old, sort of outdated kind of video game cutscene walking, like, with repeated motions and stuff like that. And you have to wait for him to, oh, it looks like you're bleeding, kind of thing, over and over again. And it's like, can't I just skip? Can't I just press a button, press start to skip the scene? but it's a text box scene, so they don't work that way. You have to click through each text box. But there are some text box scenes where the text goes and clicks by itself. So why couldn't they do that? Why couldn't they make this at least so that the text is starting as soon as the person is coming in, and by the time they're where they are, the text is, you're finished clicking through whatever the text is, scene end. Okay, let's move on. It just feels like it feels like he's trolling us. Let's you want an extra stuff? Here's too much. You know? By the third time I've reached the boat, I'm like, oh, not again. And so on the fourth time, I'm like, please, Popola and Double, please just skip this part. Let's go to the Shadow Lord's temple at the beginning, and let's just have the scene skip flash right to the Shadow Lord's scene at the end. That's also what's terrible. The Shadow Lord's temple. So many rooms. At first, it's extremely confusing, but once you know the layout, you just run up the stairs, run around the rooms, roll past the enemies, open the doors, except the stupid first time you have to move the blocks every time. Can we speed that process up? Obviously, no, that was probably meant to be so that it's meant to tire you out, so that you don't want to finish it, so that the people that do finish it feel extra rewarded. But it's just... Even Nier Automata lets you skip through the credits. You know? Yeah, this one doesn't even let you skip through the credits. Although I do enjoy that the credits are alphabetical by name, by given name. It's kind of an interesting way to do it. That way everybody knows exactly where they're going to show up on the list. So that's a lot better for the people who make the game. People who want to know who does what, it's a little bit more of a problem. But I don't pay attention to that too much. Probably should pay more attention to the credits, because these people made this shit, and it's amazing. And even this, like, I'm complaining about this, but this is amazing and beautiful and so heartbreaking, and you want her to be able to be a little girl again, even though you have to fight giant tentacle heads. It's just crazy, and that's what Yogotaro does. But again, when you go through the old missions, perfect contrast comparison. Forest of Myth. Everybody hates going to the Forest of Myth. You have to read, and you have to pay attention to what you're reading. But if you know what you're doing, again, you just have to pay attention to the color of the girl's eyes, and you have in story 1, and you have to pay attention to the number of fighters in story 2 that the woman warrior loses. So you just have to remember, okay, green, 63, and then on you go. This has made the Forest of Myth mission the best mission to redo. And I keep forgetting that, because it just goes by, and I'm like, oh, I'm done already? Okay, off to the junk heap. And then after the junk heap, you're off to the boat again. And then another part I absolutely, just to tangent complain, the Barren Temple in the Facade Desert. Every room has a rule. At least if you've been through them, you don't usually have to do them again, but it's so tedious. Just let us skip through to the end if we've already been through it. But that's not the way it goes. That's not the way they do it here. But then that's why we love these games, because they make us go through these things. They make us intimately familiar with these characters, even if they're written like completely melodramatically, and it's very unbelievable. And are we really missing anything if the game takes out all the noises? It's... I understand it's supposed to make you immersive, because you would possibly be making breathing noises like that to yourself, to these things, but I find it quite excessive, especially 9S. It's like, okay, shut up, now, control your breathing. You don't have to do that every single time someone says something, and you don't respond with an actual word, you just say, stop it! You're making me want to, like, throw up. But Whatever. I fucking love the Nier games. I am complaining just because I can. Please give us a way to skip through the postman talking to the little girl scenes. They are absolutely beautiful. Don't let us skip through the first and the second playthrough. A and B, let us experience it fully through. I have no complaints. Play through A, play through B, let us give the story again. But play through C and D, let us just skip through that, please. Another thing that I think is different from the original is that, from Gestalt, back on the Xbox 360 for me, was, lost my place for a second, the bosses. Part of the reason that it was less of a pain to go through the levels again was that you were leveled up, and you could take down the bosses and everything. Chop chop, bang, gone. It comes as a double-edged sword when they force us to listen to the boss's thoughts by making the boss basically invulnerable, almost invulnerable. You're chipping away like millimeters at a time when you're attacking him, until what he's saying is finished. I mean, I appreciate that for playthrough A and B, but through playthrough C, let us skip that. It's just, let us still be powerful enough to chop down the boss, so that we don't have to listen to them again. I mean, if it's something new, force us to listen to it. But if it's not new, let us skip it the third time. The second time, I understand. These are Nier games. Let us experience it all the way. But by playthrough C, we're just skip, play. Let's run through. I try in most playthroughs to run as far as I can in every direction to kill as many things as possible, to level up, just grind. Any environment, I go back and forth, make sure every enemy is gone before I leave it, and sometimes just intentionally go back and forth just to do some more, because I'm a few thousand experience points away from a level up, and then I'll just continue on to a city, and whatever quest or whatever. But by the time, and collecting items to upgrade and all that stuff, I've never found another eagle egg. And I'm not interested in looking for another eagle egg, so that phoenix sword and phoenix spear are never going to get upgraded. Good thing that captain's spear is pretty damn sweet. So I'm just bowling through. I usually ignored all the boars, but I'm just boring through all the map now. Just running through all the other little shades, just not caring about anybody, just... I don't need more experience now. I don't need more items now. I just need to get through the story and see what these are. I started with ending D, and then it said what it was going to say it was going to do. And I thought, okay, I want to experience all of it, so I said no. So I did ending C. And so now I'm starting ending D again, hoping that it would just let me start from the save that I made outside of the Shadow Lord's hallway, so that I can just go in there and make decision D. But nope, all the way back to waking up Kaine from the stone. Oh well, those are the breaks. And now here we are again.